you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Iron Lady sings that makes it official. Welcome to the big show. We certainly appreciate you guys coming by. As always, the Chris Voss Show is the family that loves you but doesn't judge you, and we don't loan you money, so quit asking. We're not that type of family. We're just the ones that love you, and we'll accept you for all of your faults, warts, and whatever, but we don't loan you money, so stop asking. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss, one of the TikTokity and all those crazy places on the internet. We have an amazing returning guest on the show with us today. My good friend George is on the show. We're going to be talking to him about his website and what it does and how it does it. George Meyer is the CEO and co-founder of VegasNearMe Entertainment. We profiled over the years his app VegasNearMe, and of course the rollout they're subsequently working on across the nation. And we're going to be talking with him today. Welcome to the show, George. How are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for having me on again.
Thanks for coming again. We certainly appreciate it. Give us your .coms or wherever you want people to find you on the interwebs.
The big thing with us is we're an app company, right? So I love everybody to go get the app. If you've been in Vegas or come to Vegas, this is an app you'll want. It's totally free, so go to the Play Store or Apple App Store and look for VegasNearMe and just download the free app.
There you go. The free app, and I've downloaded it. It's an awesome app. It's probably better than Yelp and some of the other referrers that are out there. Give us a 30,000 overview of what the app does and how it does it.
It's what I found is I've been a tech guy my entire life, right? And what I found, I moved to Vegas maybe 15 years ago, and discovering fun things to do in any city is really hard, right? Mm-hmm. And I started this project, honestly, because I missed a Journey concert. I woke up one morning and I was mad because I was the guy everyone would ask what was going on. And so I started doing a lot of research, and I found out it's easy not to just miss concerts, but to miss everything. I mean, in a city like Vegas, there's so much stuff going on, you can't find it. And in fact, it's common, what I found, to use well over a dozen single apps or websites on even a short trip to Vegas, right? Mm-hmm. And what we've done is we've put all of this into one app. So I think actually this is the future of discovery apps. It's not just better than Yelp or Google for Vegas. It embarrasses Yelp and Google for Vegas. So
it really does. And why does it? What makes it unique and makes it stand apart?
I think there's several features that are really interesting. Just kind of give you a quick background. The app has over 1,000 shows and events, over 6,000 restaurants, and 10,000 other activities. It even has 15,000 menu and reservation links in the app. So, I mean, if you're a In-N-Out Burger or a Starbucks fan, you'll find every location with details about those chains and 1,400 other ones in the app. The other thing that's really neat about the app is we found out that everyone was lost when they come to Vegas. So people, these resorts are huge. We've actually done internal maps of all of the resorts and shopping entertainment centers, and they'll show where you are and wherever it is you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And that just makes it really, really fun and easy to be able to go find anything near anywhere that's there. The other feature that I'm super proud of is, let's change my app here. Go back to the home screen.
And for those of you guys listening in the audience, get a chance to look at this on YouTube if you're picking this up on iTunes, because we're going to be showing how the app works right in the screen here, and you can see how it works in live time.
Yeah, I think that's a really key point, because I mean, people approach me probably once a day with a new app, and most of them aren't very good. This app, no matter how much I talk to you about it, you have to see it to kind of believe it. It's
beautifully designed.
Apps. This makes it fun and easy to find anything near anywhere, and no matter what you're looking for. And we're starting with Vegas, but we plan to bring this app all over the world.
Mm-hmm. To cities all over the world. There you go. So go ahead and give us the walkthrough there.
Sure. The app is up on the screen, and one of the things you'll note right away is that we've become accustomed to search for things with the search bar, right? And the app, of course, has a great search bar. So you can search Vegas Near Me, and you can look for anything that you might want to find. In fact, our search is very unique. But one of the most interesting features of the app is that we've designed what we call a visual category system. And it starts out with this pentagrid, right? Which is we have 6 categories, visual categories in the top and maps and places in the middle. But so right at the main screen, you can tell the app, I'm trying to find an activity. I'm trying to find a place to eat or drink or show an event or a place to gamble or a bar or club. And you can tap on one of those and go right to one of those categories, right? And the visual categories are really neat. So I think one of the best ways to demo it is to kind of pretend you're coming here for a trip. So you could say pick maps and places in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. And you'll see these categories. So we have unique places, arenas and stadiums, shopping malls, resorts. So let's go and pick resorts. And let's look for resorts. It'll sort by distance, but let's just sort by name. And let's say that I'm going to come and stay at Caesar's Palace, right? Mm-hmm. If I tap on Caesar's, now you'll see on the app, this is one of the other very unique features. I think the maps are something that no one else has. But the other thing that we have that I'm super proud of is that, it's really difficult to learn about and choose what to do or see, right? Mm-hmm. And staying at a resort is the first challenge, right? What does the place look like? What can I do there? What do the rooms look like? You have a problem with that. And the way people do it now is kind of based on static text reviews. What we've done is we've timestamped and curated over 75,000 YouTube and podcast clips. So if anybody's talked about the place or talked about the restaurant or talked about the show or talked about the activity, we'll try to find the best podcast or video and we'll make that the featured. We'll find the newest one and then we'll show all the other ones that are associated with it. So you can see with Caesar's, and I'll show you this on a smaller one with a restaurant, but you can see there's 1,000 podcast and video clips in the app.
Wow.
And just for Caesar's, just for stuff inside Caesar's. And what's interesting is that all of these clips are timestamped and curated. So if it's a 2-hour long podcast and they talk about the restaurant you're interested in an hour into it, that's where it'll start to play.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
Which is really neat. But you'll see the basic layout of the app. We have the whole things. But for now, I'm going to show you this with a different thing. Let's just favorite it by tapping the heart up in the top, right? Mm-hmm. So I can tap the heart because I'm going to stay at Caesar's. Let's go back and let's say, okay, I want to stay at Caesar's. The first thing I might want to do is look for a show and event, right? So let's say I want to find a show and event, and let's say I want to find a Cirque show. So if I look for Cirque shows, I can sort by distance all of the Cirque shows near, let's go near Caesar's Palace, right? Because that's where I'm staying. So this is going to be all Cirque shows sorted by distance near Caesar's Palace, right?
Oh, wow.
Which is really neat. And you'll see in the app that, if I wanted to find, if I go back to shows and events, by the way, I could look for major events. I could look for comedy shows. I could look for music. I could sort by venue, or I could look for sports, whatever I want to find. This is just one category. We even have a venues category. So if you want to see everything going on at Allegiant Stadium or the Sphere with one tap, you can find all that, right?
Oh, wow.
But for now, let's just say, okay, I want to go to a Cirque show. I want to find something close to my hotel. Let's just pretend that you're bringing along one of your kids, right? Mm-hmm. You can tap the button that says no age filter, and you can tell the app that I have a 10-year-old. Mm-hmm. And that fast now, it's going to sort those Cirque shows by ones that I can take my 10-year-old to. Mm-hmm. So now I can say, okay, I want to go to O. That looks really close, and that looks fun. And so if I pick O, I can look at the show, and so I can see with one tap, I can see a seat map of the show. I can see what it costs to park there.
Oh, wow.
All built in. And in fact, I could go back to the show info, and now I could tap get a ride, and it'll link to your Uber and Lyft account. And one of the things that I think is just most important is you can tap this button that says show place map, and it'll show you right where the show is inside of the resort.
Oh, wow.
And this is really neat. So if you happen to be walking, in these resorts, it's challenging to find stuff, right? And we make it very, very easy to go do that. Mm-hmm. So anyways, let's say I'm going to go to O. I'm going to make that one a favorite. Now let's go back and say, okay, I want to look for an activity. Now, activities is really cool. Now, I have an age filter turned on, so I'll show you that with age filters, but you can see that right away the app will block out the adults only and marijuana category because I said I have a 10-year-old, but I'll just turn it off for a second so you can see everything. So now these are all the categories, and in visual categories for activities, you can see what we've done is really, really neat, right? So you could say, I'm interested in games in VR, and with one tab, I could find all the rage rooms or escape rooms or anything, and they're all organized in these wonderful visual categories. So let's say I want to go to drive and ride, and I want to find a ride that I could do, roller coasters, helicopter rides, anything. So let's say I want to look for all rides near Caesar's Palace, right? And so I can look at, let's sort by distance. So this is everything sorted by distance, right? And so I want to go on the high roller. That looks really fun. So I tap the high roller. Now what's really neat is I can scroll down to the high roller, and Chris, you see that button on the bottom that says set near?
Yep.
Now this is a really neat feature. Google and Yelp, I think, make it kind of easy to find stuff near you. We've spent countless hours trying to make it easy to find stuff near you or near anywhere you're going. Because a lot of times, like you're like, I'm going to the high roller. Now I want to find a place to eat that's near the high roller, something like that. So if I tap set near, then hit OK, now I could go back to the Pentagrid and look for eat and drink. And now you can see up on the top right, the button says near the high roller, right? So I'm looking for places to eat or drink near the high roller. And if I scroll down, I could show every restaurant. I could show type of food. But let's pick, I want to find a burger restaurant near the high roller. Now it'll show me every burger restaurant near the high roller, right? And believe it or not, people, one thing I've learned here is people come to Vegas and they just have to go to In-N-Out. I don't know what it is, but that's a really popular place. But how we handle change, you can see, is very interesting, right? So there's an In-N-Out burger 400 feet away from the entrance to the high roller, right? And you'll see that's located at the top of the list of nearby burger restaurants. But if I wanted to see all the In-N-Outs, I could just tap a map. And that's every In-N-Out burger now that's in the city.
Oh, wow.
That's all there. So it just makes it super fun and easy to find anything near anywhere. Let's go back to the show real fast. And let's say, okay, I'm going to go to the O show. And let's do that with O. Let's tap set near with O. Now I want to find a place to eat near the show that I'm going to tonight. So if I go back to eat and drink, and I'll say, okay, now I want to find a nicer place. Let's look for a place with, say, a scenic view that's near the O showroom, right? So if I can find it here. So here are all scenic restaurants sorted by distance near O, which is super neat, right? So let's say I want to go to Lago, which is a really fun place. It's right overlooking the fountains. I want to look at the menu. All the menus are built in.
Oh, so wow.
Really
the menus
nice.
In there.
Yeah, since I favorited that, you can favorite that, and on your way there, you can pick what you want to eat. I can play the featured podcast or video, and you'll see it'll play right from within the app about the restaurant. I won't have the audio. I guess I could have the audio come through, but I don't know if it does play. No, I guess the audio is not playing, but you get the idea, right? The audio is right there, and how that kind of works. And it just makes it fun, fast, and easy to find anything near anywhere. And I think one of the best things here is ask me anything, Chris. Ask me anything about Vegas. Pick a place that you went to last time or stayed or anything.
Let's see. I guess I'm not going to get rooms in the what's the hotel they're taking down, the old Line Hotel.
Mirage, right? Yeah,
the Mirage. That's Guess you're not going to be able to get me a room in the Mirage anymore.
No, so. I can't do that anymore.
We'll have to wait for the Hard Rock or whatever the hell it's going to be called this week. Where's a good place that I like in Vegas that I've been to?
Or what's your favorite kind of food? What kind of food?
Let's go for some pizza. What's the best pizza in Vegas? Can you identify that?
Here, I'll tell you. Let's go to the pizza restaurants. And you see, now this is all pizza restaurants near the O showroom, right? Because that's the last place we had the nearby set. But I could tap this and change that to say near the high roller, right? So now I want to look for a pizza restaurant near the high roller. And I want to go to this flower and bakery place that's in the Link Promenade. And by the way, I can say show place map, and it'll show me right where it is inside of the Link Promenade. And I know you guys can't see this, but it's really powerful.
Wow.
That makes it fun and fast. But as far as the best pizza, it's really interesting. One that I keep hearing about all the time, and I actually haven't eaten there. Let me see if I can find it.
Rock and Roll Pizza?
No, what's the name of the one? Oh, I keep forgetting.
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
There's lots of really good places.
Oh yeah, I need to search them all.
But you can see, that just makes it easy, and you can pick anything. You can pick any show. You can pick any event. You can pick any.
Here's keto friendly sushi bars.
Yeah. Check this out.
Coffee, herbs.
Yeah. So if I go to eat and drink, you can see I could pick styles: Asian type, European, North American, other, or I could pick by feature. I want to find a celebrity restaurant. I want to find one that's fun for kids, like the scenic view or a romantic one, right? Or I could look for anything. Like a lot of people are addicted to coffee places. So if I want to find coffee and tea near the high roller, you'll see what it does here, which is really interesting, right? It shows 24 Dunkin' Donuts within 500 feet of the high roller, right? Or 197 Starbucks, right? So if I see every Starbucks and I tap map view, that's every Starbucks by the high roller.
Wow, that's pretty amazing, man.
You see the button in the middle, Chris? It says showing open and close.
Uh-huh.
A really neat feature is, let's say you're looking for this restaurant late at night. Now we're talking in the middle of the day. But if I tap this button and I could tap and say open now, and it'll show me every Starbucks viewed as list near the high roller, sorted by distance.
There you go. That's good to have because I'm usually up late at night looking to eat, and I'm like, what's open? Of course, the great thing about Vegas is most everything's. I don't know most everything, but most everything's kind of open. You got that going for you, and in other places it's not quite the same. But you always have those people that, we closed 5 seconds ago. You're like, oh man, I drove clean over here. So there you go. Yeah, it's an all-encompassing app, and the problem with Vegas when you go there is it's just entertainment overload. Like you don't know what to do unless you planned it out and you kind of have a specificity of mind. And there's a million things going on any given night. I love Vegas as a date city because when you pick a day to have a date, and there's 20 million things going on that you can take a date to.
One of the things I run into a lot, it's pretty interesting, is I think this app is every bit as good for locals as visitors, right? Because you'll end up using it every day just to save the change. But I run into people all the time that say, George, I grew up in Vegas. I know everything that's going on here. And I'll be like, I'll bet you don't.
I bet you don't.
And one of the powerful things about our visual categories, in fact, let me show it to you, is if I go into activities, we have a category in the app that's called Wild and Crazy.
Wow.
And the truth is, I created this category because I didn't know where to put this stuff.
Yeah.
It's really hard to figure out where to put it. But if I go into Wild and Crazy and sort by name, I'll just show you some of the things you can do here that I'll bet you had no idea.
Race cars, big shot.
Camel safari. You can ride camels in the desert, right?
You can?
Yes.
I didn't know you could do that in Vegas.
There's a picture of the camels. So you can ride camels in the desert. Dig this. This is a really cool business. This guy has land moving equipment. You can rent all this stuff and dig holes.
Oh, yeah.
Crush cars.
It's kind of like a giant. It's kind of like a giant Tonka trunk thing when you used to do with your kids. Yep. When you were kids, only you can do real caterpillars or whatever caterpillar is.
And there it is. You can see all of this different stuff. There's 28 different podcasts and video clips about this place that are in the app, right? But I could go a couple other ones just to show you, like, gunship helicopters. Have you heard of this place, Chris?
No.
This place, you shoot machine guns out of the side of a helicopter. Now, how would you even know to search for that?
I didn't even know that existed. I knew there were places you could shoot cool guns, but...
In fact, we have really killer deals. So we're starting to add coupons and deals all across the app. Yeah. And with them, we have killer deals on custom packages, and you can pull it up and get a deal to do an aerial gunner or do whatever you want, and it shows you all the stuff that you can go get.
Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah. So a couple other things just really fast that are really neat. There's a place cloud. Have you heard of this one?
No.
This one is a guy with a plane with a bed in the back. So his whole business is to jump.
Oh, yeah. This guy, you can join the Mile High Club.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Another one of my favorites, and I'll end, is Sky Combat Ace. I bet you didn't know about this place, but this place, you actually fly, you and a friend do a dogfight in a real airplane. So there's 2 planes that go up, and you do dogfights, and the pilot sits behind you, but you're flying the plane. It's like one of the coolest things ever. But
that is cool.
That shows the power of these visual categories, right? Because one of the neatest things about the way the app is designed is if you're just trying to find something really fast, I want to go to O and I want to find a restaurant near O, or, it makes it fun, fast, and easy to do that. But we find that a lot of people spend a lot of time on the app because they just want to play with it and learn what to do and see before they come to Vegas.
Yeah, plan out your trip.
You can plan out your whole trip and then make things favorites, and you'll see the favorites button on the bottom. I made a whole bunch of different things favorites. So I like Italian food. So if I tap Italian food, I want to find Italian food near the High Roller or near Caesars because that's where I'm staying. And let's sort by distance and say open and close so you see everything because a lot of them open later.
Yeah.
You'll see how that all works, right?
I like how the temperature is there. That reminds me how hot it is in Vegas.
That's pretty neat too, by the way. If I tap that temperature button, it'll expand and it'll show you the sunrise and sunset time. But I could say, I'm going to golf, say, on Friday, so I want to find what's the golf course going to be on tomorrow, right? And you could find the forecast, or you could say, wait, I'm coming to Vegas on, say, September 20th, right? There's historical weather on September 20th, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Now, what's powerful about this feature, remember I told you I started this whole thing because I missed a Journey concert? A lot of times people are like, I'm coming to Vegas on September 20th. I wonder what the biggest stuff going on in town. So let's go to shows and events, and let's sort for major events, and let's sort by the date, and look for the biggest stuff going on in town at that time. And it's, I can go see Adele. Yeah, Adele's here on that date, and I want to look at a seat map or see a show calendar. It's all built in.
Wow. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
What else does the app do that maybe we haven't touched on?
I think one of the things I'm really excited about now is the app now offers the best prices on shows and events in the city. So if you're going to a show or going to an event, please check the price in the app. And I'll show you that. One of my favorite shows in town is a show called Atomic Saloon. Now, it's a very adult show, but let's go back to Cirque shows, and I'll show you if I can find it here. So here's Atomic Saloon. And this show is in the Venetian, in the Grand Canal shops. The app makes it really easy to find, but see the button that says Get Tickets there, Chris? Mm-hmm. Well, we've partnered with Vegas.com and Vivid Tickets, and if they offer a lower price, and Vegas.com has the best prices on shows and events in the city, the app will look for and find ticketing for them. So if I tap Get Tickets on that, now it's going to go and look for the best price, and you can see that instead of paying $152 a ticket, it's $59 in the app.
Oh, wow.
So it's big discounts, and that's new since when you saw it. And all these shows, it's very common. It's very common for us to have very good prices, like Awakening, Get Tickets, $79. So it's much better prices in most cases than the normal ones. So I think that's it. And then we're starting to really add some killer coupons and deals. So if I go into deals, I mean, for the guys in the audience or whatever, or couples, there's a place called Crazy Horse, a gentleman's club. We have $99 bottle service, if you can believe it. So you can get a full bottle of alcohol for $99.
Pretty cheap.
We just partnered with the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. We have 50% off any show there, or at the Stars of Comedy show at Harris.
Oh, I love comedy.
Yeah, so we have lots of great deals that are starting to come in the app.
There you go. And so you guys are set up to where you guys will eventually launch this in every major city across the nation and maybe the world.
Yeah. That's one of the neat things about it is we wanted to make the app so good that when you leave Vegas, you'll be upset that there's not an LA near me or New York near me or wherever you're from. Mm-hmm. And just because it makes it, there's probably nothing you can't do in my app on your own, but it would take you an hour as opposed to 5 seconds. It just makes it fun, fast, and easy to find anything near anywhere and learn about it and pick what you want to do.
There you go. So what inspired you to do this?
like I said, I've been a tech guy my whole life, and usability is really important to me. But missing this journey concert really got me kind of upset, and because they're one of my favorite bands. But I learned that's like I said, that's very common, right? Because and what I learned now, I'm pretty close with both Ticketmaster and AEG. And I'll never forget one of the things that the guys at AEG told me is that they believe that even when a major artist like Ed Sheeran is in Vegas, 80% of the people that are here don't realize that he has a show. So discovery is an enormous issue. And I wanted to create a tool that made it much more visible. And the other thing that makes discovery an issue is if you think about the business incentive behind these places. Caesars is going to show you Caesars events. MGM is going to show you MGM events. Ticketmaster is going to show you stuff that Ticketmaster tickets for, right? Even Vegas.com, one of our closest partners, they're going to show you businesses that they've worked out deals with, right? So we have everything. We have free stuff. We have everything. There hasn't been a source, besides maybe Google, on a whole point to find everything. And the problem. And Google's an amazing tool, don't get me wrong, but the data with Google and Yelp in any one place isn't very so our data is far from perfect, but it's much better than any other source in the world for what's going on.
Wow. That's just amazing, man. And it's great you built this. Tell us a little bit of some of your history. I mean, what got you into building apps and into some of the technology that you're using?
Like I said, I've been a tech guy my entire life. So I, worked for Hewlett Packard. I worked for Sun. And when I moved to Vegas, I had a consulting company that kept me on the road all the time. But I moved here initially to take care of my parents. And I really couldn't travel, right? Because I wanted to, they just had a few years left, and I wanted to take care of them. And I remember I was at the keynote when Jobs launched the iPhone, right? I was married at the time, but I'll never forget when Jobs launched the iPhone. I was there in attendance, and I remember him showing it, and immediately I thought apps, right? I thought this is going to change the way we find stuff, right? Yeah. And so from that very initial minute, I thought, location-based apps are going to be the future, right? To have this in your hand to be able to find stuff that's near you right now. My first app, at the time, nobody knew anything about apps, but I like to play poker, so I did a little poker math app. And then I did a really large app that was called Poker Near Me. You can note the similarity in the name. So I've been doing Near Me names for well over a decade, right? But I created an app called Poker Near Me that made it easy to find all of the poker rooms in North America. So it had every detail on every cash game, every tournament, every event. Wow. I sold that company to Poker Atlas, which is one of the biggest players now in the poker business. In fact, the Venetian just opened up a massively cool poker room, and it's all run on Poker Atlas now. So I sold my company to those guys. But so I've been doing location-based apps, and when I missed that Journey concert, I went on a mission, and I found out that people are having trouble finding anything. Another thing I like to talk about is people underestimate walking distance here, right? You're like, oh, I'm just going to walk over to the Venetian. It's not that far. You know what I mean? It's a long way.
It's a long way.
It's so big, right? So that's where it became very clear that we had to do these maps and we had to do the stuff. And I'm just obsessed with. I mean, one of my mentor was from a company called iOmega, and we had a product called the Zip Drive. Yeah. And my mentor was the kind of CEO of that company. He always said, give the customer what they want, when they want it, at a price they can afford to pay. And one thing he harped on was usability. He just really thought that usability was a bigger problem than people realized it was. And when I ran a consulting company, I got to the point where I would tell tech companies that you don't even need to hire us, and I'll tell you usability is an issue. And I think of all the features I showed you in the app, and I know it's not going to come across for those of you on the podcast, so please, they're just listening to this, please either go watch it or just download the app and play with it yourself. Yeah, but of all the stuff that's in the app, it's totally free and there's no catches. Of all the stuff that I'm proud of in the app the most, I think it's not hard to figure out at all.
There you go. Very easy. So before we go out, anything more we need to know about the app and what you guys are doing there?
No, except one thing I didn't show, there are a couple of little quick things that I think I should realize here that I could show, is search is really cool, right? So you can search for anything. If I want to search for, say, chicken, the app will say, okay, we have a chicken category, and here's some popular places that have chicken. And with one tap, now I can see a map of every Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
It's just really, search is super powerful. And you can look for, anything I want to do. I could type in helicopter, and it'll find helicopter tours. You know what I mean? So the search is incredibly powerful. And then we did add one category that's not fun, but we found out for research people wanted it. So you can tap the medical category, and you can always find like the closest pharmacies. And again, those are all in chains too. So I want to find every CVS. You come to Vegas and you're missing something. I want to find it. It just makes it easier to find it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all built in too. But no, I just
there's just so much that comes at you when you're. There's so much that comes at you when you're trying to figure out what to do in Vegas. There's 5,000 things you could do, and sometimes you miss the good stuff because you're just like
a current thing now. And I haven't even met all the guys, but at the Sphere. But Chris, have you been to anything at the Sphere yet? By the way,
no, I haven't. I need to. I want to come down for the Eagles. I think
it's unbelievable. Yeah. It's just the most amazing place. It's incredible. In fact, it's so cool. It kind of ruins the experience when you go to a concert anywhere else.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's so cool. So when you come, we'll have to go to the Eagles, but because they're one of my favorite bands too. But see, you can tap on the Sphere, and now I'll show you everything that's going on at the Sphere.
Oh wow!
So you mentioned the Eagles. So here's the Eagles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get tickets to the Eagles, or I want to learn about the Eagles, or I want to see a seat map for the Sphere. Look at this. If I tap this, it shows the seat map, where the ride share and pickup is and where the parking lots are.
Wow.
And it's just pretty incredible.
Yeah, you got everything you need right there. Yeah, I just went to a concert up here and wasn't sure what to do with the parking, so it was great that the parking's there. This is pretty amazing to look at, George. And people should definitely check it out, download it. I mean, everybody comes to Vegas eventually, so you might as well just download it now. Start planning your future trips or getting ideas for stuff you can do on your future trips. Give us the final pitch out to people to download it and whatever.coms you want people to look at.
Yeah, I think if you have an Android phone, go to the Play Store, or an iPhone, go to the App Store, search for VegasNearMe, and just download it and start to play with it. And set up some favorites. So go in and pick some stuff, pick the place you're going to stay, make that a favorite, pick some shows. Just have fun with it, and then you'll really see what's happened here. And like I said, it's totally free, and please tell us what you think about it.
There you go. Thank you very much, George, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris, for having us.
There you go. Download the app, VegasNearMe. You'll love it, and it's really cool. It's so much better than anything that's out there. It makes Yelp look like a boring old app, and I mean, George should really buy Yelp at this point. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss, one of the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.